about how it's supposedly making things more dangerous for children, say absolutely nothing, or if anything, be happy that their taxpayers' money is paying for children to be killed in Gaza.
Oh man, she's hitting nails on the head, man. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, Great Britain is in huge trouble. Here we have a compilation of videos that are going to give us a multitude of reasons as to why. Let's check this out.
Right, you're going to want to listen to this. The British government is now creating an elite police unit to monitor your social media posts for so-called anti-migrant rhetoric. Yep, you heard that right. We're now living in a country where opinions are being policed. Not actions, not crimes, not violence, words. They're setting up offices in Westminster at the National Police Coordination Centre just to scroll through social media, looking for signs of unrest or misinformation about immigration. Not to tackle the actual crimes happening across the country, but to monitor us. You speak out against migrant hotels in your town, you question why hundreds of military-aged men with no documents are being bussed into your community, boom, you're flagged. And this is being sold to us as keeping the peace. No. This is authoritarianism. This is totalitarianism. When free speech becomes a threat to the state, you don't have a free state anymore. This is how regimes tighten their grip, by watching everything you say and pretending it's for your safety. Britain is sleepwalking into a surveillance state, and most people are too afraid or too distracted to even notice. But not me, and hopefully not you. Drop a comment, speak up, while we still can.
It seems that the freedom to speak your mind is slowly being taken away from us. Policies and new laws put in place to prevent us from speaking our minds or sharing an opinion about a certain subject.
Is anybody else sick and tired of having fuck all? Absolutely fuck all after you've been at work all week, and by the time you pay all your rent or your mortgage or whatever you're paying out for, your car finance, your fucking council tax, which is extortionate, and you break it down and you're left with nothing. And do you know what the funny thing is? I remember, I'm 52 now, and I remember back when I was
52 now, like you couldn't even remember. He's been living a good life, clearly.
Child, I'm not going back that long ago in the UK, and I can remember one parent working. There was, the father would go out to work. You'd have the mum would stay at home, have her job, and it's a full-time job for a woman looking after a house for children. I fucking no doubt. But now they can't even do that. They've both got to go to work, yeah, and then everybody's still struggling. So instead of one income coming in, which could pay for everything, and you could maintain a good lifestyle, now two people can't even do it in the UK. It's gone fucking wrong, mate. This government and the previous government, not just this one's put the boot in. To be honest with you, absolutely
I don't think people realise that they're all the same people. They're all of the same team. It's just an illusion.
But the previous government and the ones before that, and it's just been a fucking decline in this country. Absolute decline.
It's all one team pushing one agenda, and it's all going in one direction. They're acting like they're on different teams to give us the illusion of choice. Ultimately, we have no choice. We have no choice. It's an illusion.
Everything else at the minute with the immigration and the people coming in, the taxes are going to go up and up and up and up because someone's got to pay for everything. And unfortunately, it's the fucking working people in this country, people like me and you. I just honestly don't know what the point is of all this anymore. I know people moving away in droves now. I've got a good friend who's moving to the Caribbean in a couple of weeks. He's had enough. Absolutely had enough. People have had enough of this country. It's going to be a third world country soon. Literally a third world country. The people shouldn't be using food banks in the UK. It's fucking disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. But
I agree. Based on the country we've been known to be throughout our history, we should literally be at the top of the food chain. None of the people in the UK should be starving.
Just keep taking and taking and taking. Let me know what you think, guys. Have you had enough of this? Because I fucking have. Let me know what you think, guys. I love you all. Thanks for watching.
The UK is finished because everything's offensive now. In this hot weather, there's people on this app that are British as well that are saying what you wear in the summer's offensive. A man shouldn't wear shorts and have his top off, catching a tan, down at the park or down at the beach, walking into a supermarket. A woman shouldn't wear a bikini in this weather, down the beach, down at the park, walking her dog. Ridiculous. When did that become offensive? Then humour's gone. We used to have Scots, English, Welsh, Irish jokes all the time. If you've done that now, it's offensive. If you have an opinion over here, a sensible opinion, that's offensive. So having an opinion's offensive, having humour in Britain, which we've always had, and sarcasm is offensive, and now being told in summer wear in 30-degree heat because you want to get a tan or cool off, that's offensive. You're not allowed to wear bikinis, you're not allowed to wear shorts, you've got to cover up. But it's all right in Spain, Portugal, Cyprus, Greece to walk into any supermarket in sliders and do what you want. This country's finished, mate. We'll moan about anything. It's turning the other way where we can't do nothing. Well, I'll tell you something for nothing. I'm going for a walk later and I'm going topless in my shorts because while I'm walking, I'll get a nice tan. How about that?
Why not? Why not? And this guy's bang on the money because everyone seems to be complaining these days. And the moment people are complaining, it leads to unrest. And the moment there's unrest, it leads to governments putting what? New laws down, new policies down. And that changes and ruins the vibe, the culture. And that's what people are fighting for here in the UK. There is a way of living. And if you ain't happy with the way people live their lives in the UK, then F off. That is the message.
Have you ever thought about how there's nothing to do? There's literally nothing to do, is there? Like, what are the options? You either go to work and then everything after work is just designed to take that money back off you. And you, on a weekend, like, you walk around some shops and spend some money, or you go to a supermarket, or you go out drinking, or you take your kids to a soft play centre. The chances
Everything is an illusion, ladies and gentlemen.
of us being here and the whole complexity of how human life even come into existence, and you get here and there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. It's like going to Thorpe Park or something and you're queuing up for one of them rides for like 4 or 5 hours. You get on it, it's over in 7 seconds, and it was just rubbish. That'd be my life review. Like 10 out of 10 for how it looks. Like the mountain ranges and lakes and the wilderness and the desert and the forest and the jungles. But 1 out of 10 for things to do.
Major warnings being issued after lots of reports of this happening on the tube. People in various places, but quite predominantly on the tube, have had weird substances blown in their face, and well, what happened next was far worse. There has been a lot of reports coming out of something called Devil's Breath. Devil's Breath is essentially...
We actually done a video on this a little while ago, reacting to the young lady that was, according to what she said, attacked on the underground. That video is only now available for members, so if you want to watch that video, click on the join button, join the community. We've got close to 100 members on this channel. Big up every single one of you guys. Just click on that join button, become a member. We've got exclusive content for members only, dropping every single week.
This compound, which, yeah, is very bad. I'm not going to speak about too much of it because it will get taken down. But there is lots of people getting jailed and lots of people having horrendous things happen to them because of this.
Wow.
Many people have reported being on the tube in a quiet area with not that many others around. Then someone coming up to them looking a bit suspicious and just standing around them. Sometimes noticing them blowing a white smoke almost from a newspaper or a folded piece of paper that's hidden into their face. Or sometimes it's so small that they won't even notice it, they'll just start to feel weird. Feeling drugged and almost out of control, someone else will then come in and lead you to a cash register and make you do things you didn't want to do, or just blind rob you right there. Also, there's this thing where they're taking postage stamps and being like, oh, can you help me, like, can you lick my envelope and put it on? And obviously that is not a postage stamp, but why would you do that for someone random anyway? So just
Bruv,
but
why would you do that for someone?
It's genuinely happening and it is pretty scary. So let me know if you know any more on this, and as always, I will keep you updated.
If they wanted to teach you, they would, but they won't, so I will. Last year in the UK, there were around 50,500 offences involving a sharp instrument in England and in Wales, excluding Greater Manchester, which is 4.4% higher than it was the year before. And we know, or should know, a reasonable percentage of those who carry out these offences are kids. In fact, in around 17.3% of cases, the perpetrator was between the ages of 10 and 17.
Wow.
This isn't something that is new, and these figures really and truly shouldn't surprise anyone given what you see
No,
in
it
the
does
news and
actually
online
surprise me when you actually think about it.
in the UK. And every time I talk about this issue, I always mention the fact that there has to be a link between the shutting down of youth centres and deterioration of community street in the UK. Research carried out by Unison identified that 2/3 of youth centres in the UK have closed down since 2010. And we all know what change happened in 2010 in the UK. If you aren't sure, ask someone in the comments, I'm sure they can fill you in. According to Unison's research, a total of 1,243 council-run youth centres in the UK closed, which took place between 2010 and 2023, leaving just 581 centres still in operation at the end of March 2023. And the response that this is always met with when I highlight it as a major factor for the crime rates we see in the UK, particularly amongst the youth, is either racism or people passing the blame around like a hot potato, but ultimately leaving all blame with those who are stuck in a constant cycle of poverty. But I'm not here to argue with people on the internet, so let's look at the evidence. This is the mayor of Baltimore in America. His name is Brandon Scott. Baltimore ranks as the city with the 3rd highest homicide rate in America, and they have just recorded their lowest homicide rate for the city ever in the first 6 months of 2025. We're talking about a 22.7% reduction in homicides, along with a 19.6% reduction in non-fatal shootings, car thefts down 34%, and robberies down 22%. But how did he do it? By investing in 42 summer youth camps, 29 literacy programs, extending recreation centre opening hours to 11 p.m, planned street parties, opening schools for summer classes and opening swimming pools for everyone to use. Who could have guessed that by investing in community and the youth and giving them something constructive to do to get them off the streets, crime drops? This is proof that the crime we're seeing in the UK, particularly in the major cities, are a direct result of the removal of funding for young people in the community. So before you try and cancel Notting Hill Carnival, which seems to be a yearly thing at this point, along with other events that create that sense of community in the UK, let's ask ourselves why more isn't being done to bring people together and provide spaces for people, particularly in poorer parts of the country, to better themselves. It worked in Baltimore. There's no reason why it can't work in major cities in the UK.
Facts. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, proves our point. It proves the point of us saying that we are so divided here in the UK, and it's the governments that have created this division.
Should we talk about something a bit controversial? Immigrants and hotels. Because there's a lot of people out there that have fallen for this divide tactic. The white people don't like the Asians now don't like the whites because everyone's just going against each other. It's got nothing to do with us. It's all about the people up top. I know Asian people that are more British than us, and they're getting the blame. These people that I'm talking about specifically, their parents came over here and fought to get themselves a place in this country to better their life and for their children. It's got nothing to do with race. It's what these people are getting promised. All they have to do is make it over the channel, let's be honest. It's not hard. Once they're over, they get 5-star accommodation, 4 meals a day. They get a choice between an iPhone and a Samsung. What? I don't know about you lot, but I've had to work for everything I've got. Oh, and guess what? The taxes that we pay, funding it all. Then they get 18 months for the documents to come back and get accepted. And if they don't get accepted, they get sent home with $3,000. $3,000 in our country would get you, what, a month? A couple of months, yeah? If you're paying for housing.
A couple of months. Barely get you through the month living in London.
Bills, etc. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of them that can buy a lot of things. All the while this is going on, there's people in this country who are struggling, and that's whites, Asians, Chinese, everyone. People have forgotten about redirect your anger to the right people. They want us to be divided. They want us to hate each other. Basically what I'm trying to say is, let's not just fight against each other. Let's fight against the undocumented and the ones at the top.
Someone please explain to me what the fuck is going on with the UK at the moment. We have got immigrants coming in left, right and centre. Immigrants who do not want to work. They want to claim asylum. They want to get 70 quid a week, a brand new iPhone, a place to stay, when the people of the UK can barely even afford that themselves. Meanwhile, while the government are forking out millions to do all that, Brits can barely afford to even go to the shop for the week to do their weekly shopping without dipping into a savings account, or let alone even try and save, because of the amount of fucking tax that they are putting on everything. And quite honestly, I've saved the best one till last. The fact that the UK have now brought out this policy about not being able to have a wank anymore without sharing your information to third-party companies that are all based in America. That's right, the UK decided that they don't want to create a safe system for people to upload their identification. They're going to outsource and put it on there. So your ID, your passport, your driving license, anything like that could be used anywhere in the world, all for the sake of having a wank. Scary, scary times, man. Scary, scary times.
It doesn't make any sense how they're using an American company to collect our data. It's potentially leaving us exposed to fraudulent activity, and we know how the internet works these days.
Yesterday, a far-right mob attacked a hotel called Bell Hotel in Epping, Essex, which is known for housing migrants. Outside, they were chanting things like, "Refugee scum, get off of our streets and send them back." They attacked the police. The security guards at the hotel are suffering severe injuries. and some of the people in the crowd were reportedly as young as 13. So how did we get here? A few days ago, an Ethiopian migrant was taken to court because it was alleged that he tried to kiss a young girl as she was eating pizza. The same man has reportedly harassed other women in the area. Harassment of women and girls is nothing new, and it's certainly not limited to one race. But these men, these reform voters, took it upon themselves to be the protectors of women in this situation. Why? Because the perpetrator wasn't white. As a 31-year-old woman who has lived in multiple different countries, been surrounded by people of all different colours, and has been repeatedly sexually assaulted and abused throughout my life, it is overwhelmingly white men that have been the perpetrators in my case. But not once have I ever experienced any white man rioting because of what happened to me. I want to add to that the most online hate and harassment that I experience is from white British men. Frequently, this type of hamish men come into my inbox to tell me that I deserve to get raped in Gaza, that they'd like to do unspeakable things with their friends to my dead body. And even yesterday at these riots that were supposedly about protecting British children, they outed themselves. James Regan of Reform UK was interviewed yesterday, and in that interview he said they're trying to dilute the Britishness out of us. That was his main point. That was his main point. You would think that if these...
you think of it, I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, ladies and gentlemen, that is the racist card right there. What this woman is basically saying is that there's a number of people being fueled by the illegal immigration situation, and they're taking advantage of it. They're showing their true colors, who they really are. It's literally a contradiction at this point. The reason it's a contradiction is because of her story, what she's basically saying here right now. There's never been any type of riots for the situations that she's gone through when it's happened by white males. But because this guy was from Ethiopia, they decided to go absolutely mental, and now they want to protect their women and children. And I totally get that. I agree with that. I want to protect our women and children as well. But I want to protect our women and children from everyone, no matter what color they are, no matter where they come from across this planet. I want to protect the women and the children from every vile and evil creature on the planet. So on that basis, we should be keeping the same energy for everyone. But clearly, there are a small minority of people here in the UK that are not. And they are, like I said, showing their true colours.
People actually cared about British women and girls, they would be talking about the male violence epidemic. They would be mentioning the very concerning statistic that almost 800,000 women get raped in the UK every single year, and they're just the rapes that are reported. They'd be talking about the fact that less than 3% of those cases end up with any charges. And you'd hope
I also want to mention 1 in every 4 grapes is a foreigner. 1 in every 4. So again, the same energy should be applied for the initial 3 men that are on that list. It just doesn't make any sense. It's a massive contradiction, and ultimately it just shows your true colours.
Definitely be talking about the fact that 91% of rapes are carried out by men. If men have the power to influence anything in this world, it's other men. So if these reformed gammon really cared about women and girls, they would be talking to their fellow bromios about how to stop hurting us. But no, instead they take their aggression out on refugees, who, by the way, a lot of refugees in this country are women and girls. They will moan about refugees coming here and about how it's supposedly making things more dangerous for children, say absolutely nothing, or if anything, be happy that their taxpayers' money is paying for children to be killed in Gaza.
Oh man, she's hitting nails on the heads, man. You have to literally take in what she is saying. She is hitting nails on heads, ladies and gentlemen.
We need to ramp up the anti-racism, and it is imperative, it is desperately needed that white people are at the forefront of that. If you are interested in being part of a movement that are against these far-right rioters, please look up Stand Up to Racism UK on Instagram. Follow them, be involved in the protests. This is how we protect people. This is how we make Britain better.
I can't lie, she was hitting nails on heads. And I know it's a small, very, very small minority of people that are at these protests that have that type of racist energy.
I'm not a racist by any means. I'm an ex-veteran, 10 years. At the end of the day, we've got homeless people camping here. I know homeless people from the forces. I get out of the forces, no dental treatment. I can't get doctors, they get everything. I'm all up for immigrants coming, but sign the paperwork. You show who you are, you come in, you abide by our laws.
They're in there, free rent, free everything. Do you know they're even getting meal tickets to go in that pub with after they've been supplying meals in there? Did you know that?
There were hundreds and hundreds of people here protesting outside the Brook Hotel. We're on the outskirts of Norwich, very much against the fact that asylum seekers are being put up. On the other side of the road, on the other side of the roundabout, was a group of people very much in support of those people who've come to this country, many of them on small boats.
Look, we get both sides of it. We understand both sides of it. We've got sides that want the best for our country and we want the government to do more for our people and our country. And then on the other hand, you have a bunch of good people that want to provide support to the illegal immigrants who have gone through a process of getting to England, which more or less they have risked their life to do. I know people are going to respond to say, well, that's their own beef, that's their own problem. But again, we're all good people trying to fight a good cause, and that's to better our lives. So this is the reason why I say we come together and we put pressure on the government. They're the ones that are making it more difficult for us. They're the ones that are raising taxes. They're the ones that are inflating prices. They're the ones that are preventing us from going out to buy bread and milk, water and biscuits. Like, we can't get none of those things these days, can we? We're struggling to buy the basics. Salaries are not increasing. Pensions are not increasing. So where's the money coming from? To then feed and house more people. It doesn't make any sense. So again, you understand one hand, but then you can also understand the right. And this is the reason why everyone just needs to come together and unite. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, the UK is in big trouble if we don't fix up as soon as possible. I need to know exactly what you guys are thinking, so leave all your thoughts and comments down below in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if we're newly watching, turn your notification bells on so you don't miss out on future videos. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.